Ladies and gentlemen, Braun Strowman.
So good.
Oh my God.
Brilliant.
This ought to be good.
I love when this ought to be good. He breaks the bridge right off of the base.
I know.
Says he's gonna win, but we all know that ain't true. You look at me, boy, when I'm singing, 'cause I'm not finished with you. You may not know it, you may not realize, when this song's over, you're gonna get these hands.
So that was "You're Gonna Get These Hands" by Braun Strowman. Yeah, that is
coming to iTunes soon.
Destined to be a #1 hit.
He's actually not bad.
I'm sure with music he probably would be better.
He has a ton of charisma.
It's amazing because all the things that they want Roman Reigns to be, Braun Strowman already is.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
He's got a good personality. He's funny. He can wrestle. He's a big, intimidating guy. The fans think he's
Reigns trying to pull that off.
No, it would be so. It would come off so artificial. We are not necessarily starting things off with Braun Strowman.
We're not.
Well, we were just starting it off in terms of the right, the musical introduction. We started things off, but not in conversation. We decided to we'll save Raw and SmackDown thoughts for a little bit later because we have a mailbag to get to.
Mailbag.
As Taz might say, yam bag. So we have a yam bag mailbag to get to. And what I mean is it's a mailbag full of yam bags. At least there is one particular question. I guess we should probably address that one first, since if you've been paying attention to Kat's social media or the Tag Me a Date social media, you knew this one was coming. So if you didn't, now you can catch up by going to the Tag Me a Date social media.
Now's the time.
Yeah, now's the time to
I was trying to go viral. What can I say?
All right. So, before we go and do anything untoward or unfair, I want to hear the question exactly as it was presented to us, and
Absolutely, because I think there may have actually been some confusion in the text the way I wrote it. So I'll read it to you verbatim how it came into the box. Steve and Kat, are you guys responsible parents for allowing your kids to watch the WWE? WTF? Question mark, question mark, question mark. And by the way, since I said I was going to call her out directly because I did say that, Sarah from Nebraska, this is for you, okay?
Throw her under the bus.
Wow. Well, that was certainly a thing that just happened. So,
listen, you can call me a lot of things. You can call me a lot of things. You could say a lot of things to me, and I don't care, okay? I'm a grown-ass woman. You don't question what I do or what I say about what I do with my fucking kids. My name's not Tila Tequila, okay?
Yeah, so I'm gonna obviously let you guys have your say at this because you're the parents here, and it was directed right toward both of you guys specifically, which leads me.
Absurd.
I just need to address a few things out loud that are confusing me about this situation. If you're a wrestling fan, then you're aware of WWE programming. And you have made the decision already whether or not your kids are going to watch it, so why would you ask this question out loud? Second of all, if you're not a WWE fan, then you don't know anything about the WWE programming, and you don't know anything about what we talk about on this podcast. And why would you ask the question? And third of all, it was directed at two people. This person named names.
Yep.
And again, you do not. You come from some bumblefuck town. You are not living with Steve, and you're not living with Kat. You do not see what they do or do not do with their children. So again, why would you ask this? Everything boils down to why would you ask this?
You have
question?
no life.
Really? Because why would you listen to a wrestling podcast if you're not a wrestling fan? Because that's
why did parent groups watch wrestling when they clearly did not like wrestling back in the Attitude Era?
So, this person sits for an hour and listens to us talk about wrestling, and they hate it, and they're just I can't process that.
Maybe here's for maybe the 5-10 minutes that Steve and I may randomly mention our kids. I mean, I know Autumn tries to make cameos every fucking 15 seconds, but you
gotta get her 15 minutes, brother.
That's right.
Yeah, exactly. See, look, so she did get her 15 minutes of fame. She's included in a freaking question that's absolutely absurd. But here's the thing, okay? You are interjecting yourself into a wrestling podcast, into stuff that's affiliated with the WWE. You don't see our kids. You don't know what our kids say or do. Who are you to question what our kids watch?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Especially
with the John Cena's, Roman Reigns.
Consider the other programming.
And they're not watching the Attitude Era. They're not watching. If this was the Attitude Era, guess what? My kids would not know a damn thing about wrestling.
But also,
still the Attitude Era.
What time is this child going to bed? This child is not staying up until 11 to watch wrestling. That's on.
Absolutely not.
You know what I mean? So if it's Monday night, the kid's gonna get an hour of wrestling, maybe before they go, maybe an hour.
It's DVR that she can watch it when she gets home from school on Tuesday after she finishes her homework. She is not watching it until everything is done.
And she gets to fast forward through the commercials. That kid's spoiled.
Yeah, that is.
Yeah, to quote the phrase, no way, Jose. You ain't watching it unless everything's done.
That's actually really good. You're rewarding your children with something they enjoy watching by saying do your homework first, which prioritizes schoolwork over professional wrestling or over television.
I tell you what, she came home with a D on a math test 3 weeks ago. Do you know what her punishment was? That if she didn't get her grade up before and behind, she wasn't watching the Royal Rumble.
Oh, that's a big one.
Wow, that's a punishment.
That's exactly what
I said.
I'm taking. She missed a basketball game, and I'm taking your tablet away, and you're not watching the Royal Rumble.
Well, there you go.
That's why I asked Ryan how to fix the Comcast thing, so I was going to surprise her and put it on for her in the living room because she got a 98 on the next test.
Hey, there we go.
Yes.
So the system works.
That deserves celebration.
You know what I'm saying? Like, this is an example of how you are not a shitty parent. What is this? What is this jabroni's name? I need the name again. What is this person's name?
Her name is Sarah.
Sarah.
From Nebraska.
Why is it that most people named Sarah, nobody wants to have sex with them? Most of the Sarahs I know are completely unfuckable. And Sarah, you join the list of unfuckable people named Sarah.
You just made the list.
Yes, you just made my
Steve,
list
I actually
of
want
people named Sarah.
I want to hear Steve too with this.
Because Steve was mentioned. So
this as well.
we need to, Godfather, speak on this.
Totally.
Orale.
All right.
Oh, here he is. Oh, man, you made us wait for it. We should have given him entrance music or something. No, it's all you.
Yeah, right.
All right. So here's my thing. Sarah from Nebraska. I myself have been watching the world of professional wrestling since the age of 2. I used to watch with my grandfather. And then, of course, I fell in love with Hulk Hogan and the Ultimate Warrior. And I grew up through the Attitude Era. And I have been watching pro wrestling for just about 35 years. And I would like to think I turned out pretty damn good. I've always had a full-time job. I've always been able to support my family, make sure that my kids always have a hot meal at the end of every day and a roof over their head, and start a pretty damn successful company of my own and get to do this podcast every week. So I'd say I'm a pretty damn good father because my kids want for nothing. I give them everything that they need. Do I allow my kids to watch wrestling? Absolutely. This is the PG era. Over 20% of the fan base in WWE is children that are my kids' ages. My daughter loves Bailey, loves Sasha Banks, loves the women, the ones that show women empowerment and show that they can do what any guy can do. So I'm okay with that. My feeling when it comes to children in general and watching pro wrestling, at the end of the day, it doesn't matter if it's wrestling. It doesn't matter if it's anything on television that you let your children watch. Because at the end of the day, your children are a reflection of you. So if you are not a positive influence yourself and monitoring what your children watch and making sure that if they are watching something like wrestling, that they know that these are things that professionals do that have proper training and that they are not to do what they see on TV. And as long as you're on top of your children and make sure that they're doing the right things because you say so as their parent, then you're a damn good fucking parent. So I myself, and I can only speak for myself and Kat and other adults that I know that allow their children to watch wrestling that have all turned out to be pretty damn good kids. My kids are straight A students. My kids are responsible. They don't talk back. Well, that's not true. My 4-year-old talks back, but she's 4. But at the end of the day, I'm a pretty damn good fucking parent. And if there's something on TV that I do find inappropriate, they don't watch it because I'm in charge in my house. So if you question an adult for whether or not they watch wrestling, that look at the crowd. Okay, look at who John Cena caters to. Without them, there wouldn't be a WWE. So don't ever question whether or not somebody is a good parent based on whether or not they let them watch wrestling. Because again, if they're shitty kids, that means their parents are shitty.
Amen.
Amen.
And that's all I got to say about that.
But you know what though? It's not like I know you don't let your kids. I don't let Autumn and Rosie and them watch like Total Divas or anything like that because I don't need them seeing Rusev buck naked. I don't need.
Well, and the topics and the topics are inappropriate. You know what? And listen, I agree with you, Kat. You said, you know, if this was the Attitude Era, you would not be letting them watch it, and that's the same for me. I don't need my kids seeing Triple H and Shawn Michaels climbing to the top rope and asking women to flash. I don't need my daughter asking me what's flashing. You know what I mean? But this is a different time. This is a different time. It's a family-friendly show now.
Even the same situation like what happened when what was it? The Ballers were on with that whole thing with Dean Ambrose and whatever. I was like, thank God Autumn went to sleep because they didn't put it on at 8 o'clock.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
they didn't put it on at the top of an early hour.
They're careful about how they position what segments.
Right. Here's the thing with WWE programming. If let's say Raw is too much for your kid or SmackDown's too much, which I don't see because right now it really has. This is the cleanest it's been in years, and that's even during the Linda McMahon running for office era. There was still some questionable stuff going on back. You know, they would throw in certain situations, but now, I mean, for the most part, it's a very clean show in terms of language and the booking of the angles and stuff like that. But let's say,
even the storylines, they're just, you know, sometimes does the New Day get a little close to the line?
Yeah.
Of course, but you know what?
But it goes over
on Channel 4 at 8 o'clock at night. You know what I mean?
But the only thing, the most adult
the way that
thing
it's even done, it goes over their head.
It's just like Disney movies that make adult reference jokes that goes over the kids' heads.
But let's say you don't want to watch Raw or SmackDown. If you go to the WWE Network, you can put on the Cruiserweight Classic. You can put on 205 Live. You can put on there's that animated show, not Camp WWE, but there's the WWE Town or whatever it is.
Yeah.
And that's like a claymation thing for children's program. There is plenty of children's related programming for WWE fans of all ages.
I'll let my fucking kids watch wrestling before I'll let them watch SpongeBob.
Amen.
Yeah,
absolutely.
SpongeBob is weird, and
it's not
very weird.
No,
very weird.
It's not an appropriate show. He's
the sponge wants to fuck a squirrel. Why do you want your kids watching a television show, Sarah, where a sponge wants to fuck a squirrel? That's not even possible.
Sarah.
And listen, and I want to say this too, Sarah. To be fair, and I'm talking right to you. To be fair, if you want a chance to come on this show and talk to Kat and I and the rest of the Tag Me a Day team about this topic, I cordially invite you.
No,
I will personally send you the link that you click, and you're right here on the back end with us. I would love to have this conversation with you. And listen, if you meant it in a different way and it came out wrong,
we will print that correction. If you send us a clarification and you think that we have misinterpreted what you said, please send an email or come on the show.
But WTF with the question mark pretty much solidified to me that we're shitty parents. So.
You know what? If she had generalized the question, are parents irresponsible for allowing their children to watch the WWE? I would have been able to give the defense. I don't think that Steve and myself are irresponsible parents because we happen to be fans and we sit with our kids when we watch it.
Yeah.
But are there the parents that just put the TV on and walk out of the room and go do whatever the fuck they want and don't know what their kids are watching? Absolutely.
I'm sure.
I could actually give that argument merit.
There are plenty of crackheads and meth heads that watch wrestling and are probably bad parents. Steve and Kat aren't them. Sorry. Like, you can say, yes, somewhere there is a person who just put their kid in front of SmackDown and then went to go shoot up heroin. That person exists somewhere. Is it every single parent that allows their child to watch wrestling? That it's a silly leap, Sarah. You're doing all the Cornhuskers out in Nebraska a disservice.
And then it goes to lead back to the question then, there's like, is it the WWE's fault because there's so much violence out there? Give me a break.
Violence.
Again, programming.
That's been an argument for years that the WWE and wrestling, when these kids do these wrestling moves and everything, it's like, how many times has McMahon's name been attached to the lawsuit that people try and make civil lawsuits against that?
I got it. Kat, I got it. You know what? Sarah from Nebraska, she's probably one of the moms against WWE.
Yep, you're probably right.
There you go.
That's a thing?
You're probably absolutely.
I thought that was a joke thing.
No, that is absolutely true. There is a whole parents' revolution against parents against the WWE. There's protests about it.
My goodness.
Yeah. And I just want to say
the group of.
Yeah. Go ahead, Eric.
Oh, sorry. I just want to say this. As someone who knows Steve and Kat very well, I know Kat and I go way back, probably about middle school. Steve, I know my entire life. Our moms were pregnant together. We've been boys forever. So I know them. I know their children, all of them. They love their Uncle Eric. I'll just say that. But I see them
they do.
Parents. I see them, and they're phenomenal parents, as well as Justin and Stacy. They're all great parents, and they're all great kids. So, and me personally, I've been watching wrestling since I was around 2. Also, I turned out fine too. So if you want to know what I have to say, read my blog. And I'll just leave it at that. But I just want to say that, not
sorry,
just
as my son's ringing.
And not just YouTube, but any parents that have, that watch wrestling, whose kids watch wrestling, you can't generalize and basically call them parents for that. It's not fair. So that's what I have to say about that.
The whole thing is ridiculous because this all boils down for me to why. And Sarah, feel free to email us back, askthewarreport@gmail.com. I really want to know why.
I keep checking. She's not responding.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Right now she's recovering. She's picking her small intestine up off the floor after what we just did.
She's picking the corn husk out of her ass.
Yeah, there you go. She's picking the corn out of her shit right now in Nebraska. Sorry to the fine people of Nebraska that aren't named Sarah and are unfuckable. But really, it boils down to why. Why would you pick this seemingly random? We're not like world famous podcasters. You know, this is not on Sirius XM or something like that. We're not on like Chris Jericho's podcast network. We're not
Not
Bruce,
yet.
We're not on Bruce Pritchard's
Maybe
network.
we
You know
will
what I
be
mean?
now.
Right, maybe. But what I'm saying is, hey, please, you guys can send any sort of solicitations or contracts to askthewarreport@gmail.com as well. But why pick a wrestling podcast? Because here's to me, like, I don't like Dance Moms. I don't like 16 and Pregnant. I don't like most of those kind of reality shows. Keeping Up with the Kardashians, Robin China, whatever the names are. Do you know what I don't? You know what I do? I just don't fucking watch them. And I certainly don't go onto YouTube and find fucking Kim Kardashian podcasts and just hate masturbate to them. Oh, I hate this so much. Oh, that is just not what I do with my time. I have better things to do. Matt, we are creating something here.
How do you hate masturbate?
Right.
Thank you, Amanda. You're on the same page I am.
Just with a handful of chili powder. Just a handful of chili powder. It's rough and hot. But anyway,
oh my God.
and you're just miserable, but you love being miserable. You're just like, oh, I'm gonna sit here and listen to these. I think these people are assholes. I'm gonna listen for a full hour. Oh,
I have to. I've gone too far.
What the fuck is your problem? Like, if you don't like wrestling, you don't watch wrestling shit. Like, I don't go listening to Dance Moms podcasts. I don't go find out what Miss Abby's up to. I hope she hits a concrete embankment. I don't care. Okay? Like, I just don't have that kind of time in my life. Is she good?
Yeah. She's in jail for tax fraud.
God, I hope she has a roommate that has really fat fingers. That's all I'm going to say. I dislike that woman.
She actually just tweeted she got her real estate license. Sorry, I'm a big Dance Mom fan.
So now it's going to be Homes by Tammy. That's the next reality show. Book it. But you know what I mean? I don't watch the show, so I don't go on a crusade and going, Kat, you're a bad parent because you let your kids watch Dance Moms. That Tammy's a bad. No, I don't do that. Just don't watch it. If you don't think
good, because Autumn watches that too.
Right, but I don't care. I don't judge you as a person or as a parent. It's just a TV show I don't watch. Sir, it's a TV show you don't watch. Who gives a fuck? Why do you give a fuck about what we're saying? I will never meet you in my life.
If she watched Honey Boo Boo, then I'd disown her.
Yeah, true story. All right.
Well, if I ever caught Autumn watching Honey Boo Boo, she's gone.
We've given almost half an hour to Sarah from Nebraska. So why don't we tackle another one of our questions?
Sarah, with your email, you have been entered into a drawing for a free WrestleRumble.com pay-per-view pick'em. Brought to you by WrestleRumble.com, because I know you're going to pay $10 to watch something you hate in 2 weeks at Elimination Chamber. You're just going to sit there and go, oh, that goddamn Roman Reigns. He's brown skinned, but he's got blue eyes. It doesn't make any sense. Nobody cares, Sarah. So you could win a pick to WrestleRumble.com. And you can
totally sound like Tony Clifton.
That's a very big.
I feel like I should give her a pick just for
right. We should
fun.
just give her a free pick. You can pick, because we know you watch and you follow the stories. So we're gonna see how well you do against us. Do a pay-per-view pick 'em, because apparently you watch this shit. You know what's going on. You're plugged in, or at the very least you watch our podcast and you listen to our picks. So.
Come on, bring it.
Go to WrestleRumble.com.
Let's do a rock.
WrestleRumble.com has just sponsored this entire segment where we yelled at a person from Nebraska. Thank you, WrestleRumble.
Thanks, Amanda. Love you.
So we should get to the other questions, which are.
I hope no one's watching this.
Okay, Eric from Facebook. No, it wasn't Eric Friedman, I promise. What was the worst?
Dun, dun, dun.
No, dun, dun, dun. What was the worst WWE moment of 2017?
Ooh.
Yeah.
Ooh.
I know.
I know Amanda's
Abigail.
Oh,
Jinder
geez.
Mahal
You know what?
winning the fucking title.
Yeah, I was going to say it's either Jinder or Sister Abigail.
There was a lot of moments for me. Basically,
what
any
was it?
time Jinder was on.
What was the match between Bray and Randy?
Oh, with the
WrestleMania
house.
match.
Yeah.
No, not the
house
WrestleMania.
match. The
Oh,
house of horror.
Oh,
The house of horror.
The House of Horrors.
Terrible. All terrible.
Or
Oh,
anytime Reigns was on TV.
Yeah, he was pretty intolerable in 2017. How about I think the conversation with
Bailey
with Bray. Oh, this is your life. Bailey was bad.
Yeah, that was awful.
It was
Yeah.
painful.
Hey,
That was
let's see if I can get this over. Oh, here. Hey, where's the battery? It's working. Somebody tell Braun, or somebody tell Bray Wyatt. Yeah, it's the dress and the makeup. He's gonna dress up like a girl. No, I know he's 350 pounds. I just put him in the goddamn dresser here.
Oh my God.
Pretty much what happened from what I can tell.
Mm-hmm.
Just put him in the
Harrison, get it.
Word for word.
Bray, get that
I
fucking.
have to be honest. I think I agree. I think the idea to make Bray Sister Abigail, I think, was probably the biggest disappointment for me in 2017. Well, because it's just they had so many options of people that they could have actually put up that nobody was expecting to be Sister Abigail.
Right.
And bring a fresh face into the mix, and they dropped the ball on it. I don't know why. I mean, listen, they still can't book Bray Wyatt. It's mind blowing to me. The mic work that he can do, and the whole idea of his character. It should be so goddamn easy to start putting him over and let him. Let him do something.
Now, this is not an original idea. I believe I heard it online, so credit to whoever first said it. But this idea has been out there for a little while that Rich Swann's wife, girlfriend, whatever she is,
Whatever
Sue Young.
That's
Are
his
you
wife.
familiar with? Yeah, you guys familiar with Sue Young? Do you know what she does?
No.
Sue Young is basically, she's playing a paranormal character already. She's playing basically a Japanese spirit in the vein of like The Ring. So she's like she's like a paranormal ghost bride, like a Japanese ghost bride.
Yeah.
And it's the closest thing you have to an Undertaker like character in the women's division aside from probably Rosemary.
Yeah.
But so she's just signed with Impact, I believe, Sue Young, but she has been floated on the internet as a good idea for Sister Abigail because she already does the paranormal shit. So she already has you could take that gimmick and just call it Sister Abigail and give her a fucking dead deer carcass to carry around.
Yeah, but
I don't know.
how long?
Oh, God.
How long is her deal now in TNA?
Oh, who knows? TNA deals are made out of fucking tissue paper anyway.
Yeah, they're written on napkins in ketchup.
They used to be written on napkins that were used to eat fresh New York hot dogs, bro.
What do you got? Let's go on to another one.
Yes.
Who was that
Yes,
from
who
again?
was that so we can thank them for
That
not
was
being Sarah?
That was from Eric on Facebook.
All right, Eric. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Eric, for not being Sarah.
My messenger and it just said
I'm an asshole. I'm sorry.
This is Sarah. Don't be Sarah.
Don't be Sarah.
don't be a Sarah.
Don't be a Sarah. Oh no, that's good. We're gonna make a meme out of that. Don't be a Sarah.
So let's see.
That should be our new question thing. Don't be Sarah.
This came
That's our
from
user
the No Holds Barred podcast.
Ooh,
Nice.
hello, No Holds Barred podcast.
They have a great podcast too. Definitely check them out.
They do.
Hang on 1 second, because I just totally went dead with signal for some reason. I can't hear you guys.
All right, we'll wait.
All right. Well, we can start and then
We'll get going. Yeah. So. Jesus. Oh man, I gotta do. Hold on a second. I'm gonna. I have to share my screen for a second because I figured since we're filling time right now for to get back, I thought I should show you what Sarah looks like. That's Sarah, everybody. She's just so
I have
angry.
the No Holds Barred question. Should I read it?
Yes.
Yeah,
While we're waiting for Kat, we can read.
Okay, so they asked, with the 3 rumored main events for WrestleMania 34, how would you book them in order from 1 to 3, 3 being the main event? Brock versus Roman, Styles versus Nakamura, or Taker versus John Cena?
I would like to go first.
Go for it.
Absolutely, without question, main event would be Shinsuke AJ. That's a no-brainer.
Yes.
Yeah.
I would say number 2 would be Brock and Roman, and the first one would be, unfortunately, Taker Cena.
Yeah.
That's my exact order too.
Yeah, I feel like no matter how you slice it, yeah, you have to, because here's the thing: if they put the Universal title last, that puts the Universal title over the WWE title, and I don't like that.
Especially
for me, you know what? At this point,
won the Rumble.
Yeah, he won the Rumble.
Though, at this point, with the way it is right now, in my opinion, Shinsuke AJ has to be your main event, not only because of which belt it is, but just because that match is going to single-handedly steal the entire show.
Yeah, nothing can follow
There is nothing that can follow that, exactly.
Right.
I think it would be smart.
If Brock Roman followed that, they'd be, I mean, well, they're going to be booed regardless, but
people would leave. People would just leave.
Yeah.
I will keep an eye out when I'm there.
Crap on the show.
Yeah.
If they do that, I'm going to count how many people leave.
Vince.
No, I'm going to count how many people leave.
Vince.
Yeah, right? Yeah. Oh, God.
I'll meet you at the bar.
Who wants to leave?
Which one?
With my kid. With my kid.
There are so many bars. Actually, there's a really cool pizza place that has a counter. So it's open air. You walk in and you sit down at like this 1950s counter, and then they've got a bunch of Slurpee machines behind them, and they're all different kind of iced alcoholic beverage. So like a Slurpee pina colada and a Slurpee daiquiri and a Slurpee margarita, and you can get pizza. So it's a restaurant, so you can bring your kids, but then you can also you can get the Slurpees, the alcoholic Slurpees.
That's pretty
cool.
That
happened. But yeah, I just feel like honestly what they might do is put Brock and Roman as the mid-show main event, and then use Undertaker John Cena just before. You put that just before AJ and Nakamura. Not just before, maybe that in a women's match, and then or that in the cruiserweight. Cruiserweight's probably go earlier. I don't know. But I definitely agree. No matter how you slice it, you got to put that fucking world title match between AJ and Nakamura last. If that's not last, then what are we all doing here?
Amen.
We might as well watch dance
Undertaker's last match.
I don't think Undertaker's gonna be the last match
Cena?
because neither option is a good to go out on. Undertaker winning is great, but a little underwhelming because he's never here. And then John Cena winning means that he's also beaten The Undertaker at WrestleMania, which kind of ruins the whole thing of Undertaker at WrestleMania. And how many times is he going to do that slow fucking walk and put his boots? Oh, so he took his fucking hat and his gloves off. This time it's going to be his boots and his singlet. And then next year he's just going to be naked Midian with a fanny pack over his dick wrestling. And then when he takes that off, he'll finally retire.
I have a feeling when they know 100% that it's going to be the end of The Undertaker, there's only one way to do it. You got to put him in a fucking casket.
Oh.
You put him in a casket, you close the lid, and you wheel him up. But it's The Undertaker. Yeah. How many, he's lived in caskets. You know what I mean? Yeah, I think that's really, that's the way he goes.
I always thought Undertaker and Kane should retire at the same WrestleMania. Yeah.
I agree with that.
And do like a nice Brothers of Destruction tag team match, go out on top, leave your fucking Kane mask in the ring, whatever you want. People like leaving shit in the ring. Leave whatever you want in the ring this time. Leave a tombstone over there. Kane can wheel Undertaker out in the casket as he waves and throws confetti. I don't know, whatever you want to do.
He leads a yes chant down the ramp.
I'm just seeing two big tattooed arms poking out the sides of a casket as Kane's pushing it. What the fuck? It's like if somebody gets knocked out in football and they put him on the stretcher and they give the thumbs up as they're getting wheeled away. It would look just like that.
Hey, Vince.
Kat, did you see my picture of Sarah?
I did. I was just gonna say I feel a little triggered right now. I don't know what to say.
While you were away, I told everybody I was going to find a picture of Sarah, and I did.
I love the twitching.
Yeah, it twitches ever so slightly.
Just slightly enough.
So what's the next
What's the next question? Thank you for not being Sarah, whoever asked that question.
Yeah, that was from the No Holds Barred podcast. Ryan actually found that one.
Thanks, man. That was a great question.
The next one was from Michael Chaw. Is it too soon to have the first ever women's elimination chamber right after having the first ever women's Royal Rumble? Should
No,
it
get
have
them
been
all out of
saved
the way.
next year? Yeah, should it? And should the elimination chamber go back to being a by brand pay-per-view?
Isn't it's not?
No,
it's not. It's
a Raw pay-per-view.
Raw. It should.
It's not whoever wins the Royal Rumble, the next brand.
Right, it's the next brand is that pay-per-view. Yeah.
Right.
Well, there's a rumor going around right now that after WrestleMania, and there's absolutely no proof to this, and I'll explain why. There's a rumor that after WrestleMania, they're going back to co-branded pay-per-views. And that's because the next pay-per-view after WrestleMania is Backlash, which is going to be a co-branded pay-per-view. But to me, it makes sense that the pay-per-view after WrestleMania be co-branded, because I'm sure you've got a lot of stories you need to wrap up to get them out of the way. So that would make sense to me. The back, especially since I don't know if anybody's caught on in the last 20 years that they've had this stupid pay-per-view name. It's literal. Backlash is literally the pay-per-view backlash or fallout from what happened at WrestleMania. It is. It is. Yeah. Like, I don't know if people like. Yeah. Duh. So why? Okay. So why are we making this big jump that because the next pay-per-view is co-branded that all of them are going to be co-branded? Because as I see no proof. Yeah, right. I see no proof of that. But to get back to the original question, I think Elimination Chamber would be nice to be co-branded. But what would you do? You would give one show the women's chamber, one show the men's chamber? I guess that would be the fair way to break it up. But I don't know.
Having four chamber four. Chamber.
How about just one big one with the
ridiculous
mixed match elimination chamber? You just have a bunch of teams.
Mixed tag.
Put Braun and Alexa in the pod.
Yes. Oh, so did you guys see? Did you guys see on Facebook? I shared a poster of a show that's going on in Tennessee, and God love the people of Tennessee, but I got to know what's going on over there. They're having what they're calling a doctors and midgets mixed tag match, and here's what's happening. On each doctors and midgets mixed tag match. So here's what I've deduced. Each team has a character whose gimmick is that they're a doctor, or their nickname is Doctor, Dr. And then they also have, get this, a midget on each team. So each team has a gimmick, a fake doctor, and a real midget.
As opposed to a fake midget? How the fuck do you get that?
Like Dorf. You would just sit on your knees and then push the shoes up to your knees. Or you get a kid and you put them under a mask and you tell them they're a midget.
What if, instead of like the doctor, they're like the Dr. Thugonomics?
Right. It does. I guess they don't need to be literal, like, they're coming out in a lab coat doctors, but at least because there were no pictures of this particular match.
Kind of Isaac Yankem thing.
That's what I'm wondering.
Dr. D, David Schultz.
See, no, he's not a doctor. He's just a guy that likes to hurt people, but he could be.
I'm not a doctor, but I play one on TV.
Yes, so Isaac Yankem versus George Clooney, and they each get a midget.
Yep. Oh my God!
There you
go. And they use midgets like chairs and.
Yes.
Oh my God!
I was sorry to small people. What do they call? I don't even know.
I would watch that.
Little people.
Little people.
Not small.
I'd watch that over dance. I would watch that over Dance Moms, though. Not gonna lie.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean. Again, I don't want to say anything untoward about our little people friends, but I mean, just it is interesting to somebody who does not have a particular disability how they get around and how they do business and all that. And I realize there are people just like everybody else. Yes, of course. I mean, we're all human beings, but again, they go through things that we don't. So that's interesting to me. Not like Dance Moms.
Watch Little Couple then. Watch
Little
Little
Couple,
Couple,
yeah.
then. That's a good one. That's a good
There you
one.
go.
They actually adopt kids from other countries that are little people as well, because they're the unadoptable kids. So they have a kid from India, they have another kid from Vietnam. It's really cute.
What's the next question?
Like a little midget Benetton ad. Just a little midget Benetton ad. That's beautiful. Okay. Yeah, what's the next question? Thank you, not Sarah, for asking a relevant question.
Okay. This one was actually another really good one. No, but this one's actually a cute good one. This came from Darren in Philadelphia. How well do you guys know each other? Do you actually know each other in person aside from the show? Because you guys sound like one big dysfunctional family.
We certainly are, and I touched on that a little bit earlier.
But I took that as a compliment, just so you know.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah,
I got you.
absolutely.
Total
I
compliment.
do.
You're not laughing, you're crying.
Oh, appreciate the question. That's a great question.
Yeah, and the answer is kind of, sort of, half
I
and
think
half.
am I the only one that like hasn't met any of you? I think.
I haven't met anybody.
Ryan hasn't, and I haven't met Kat.
I haven't met Kat either yet.
No, I've only met Eric because I've known him forever.
Really?
Yeah.
So this is how
I've
this
never met
works.
anybody.
I think, let me just tell me if I'm wrong. I think it was Steve with the web, Steve and Eric, and they started a website deal, and Heck, of course, was in there. And then from there, like, it was a wrestling show. I met these guys in Northeast Wrestling Show, and I hopped on board from there. And then Eric recommended Kat because he knew you and knew you were a big wrestling fan. Ryan, how did we? I'm blanking on how we got you.
Through Steve.
Steve found you. Did you find him or did he find you? How did this happen?
I actually messaged him over the Tag Me a Date.
Now, did you actually get college credit for this?
I actually have an associate's in computers.
Oh, well, there you go. All right. So we
But Brian, have you actually met anybody or no?
No, I haven't. That needs to change.
Yeah.
And because he's pretty close. And then Amanda, I don't think, how many of us have met Amanda? I don't think any of us have.
No one.
Oh.
No,
I need to go up
Canada.
and visit her in Toronto.
and it's weird
April's
too because
coming
Steve and
soon,
I.
Amanda.
I know.
Yeah, and it's weird too
I can't
because
wait.
Steve and I go way back with Wrestle Rumble from back to the early days of Tag Me a Date, where we met Matt from Wrestle Rumble.
Yeah.
Huh. So,
And through our association with Wrestle Rumble, we got Amanda.
yeah, there we go. We in a trade of some sort. Draft picks to
But
be
I'm gonna
named
meet
later.
Amanda in April. I'm gonna meet Amanda in April.
That's very nice.
We should all go up and visit Amanda.
It was our own superstar
Everyone
shakeup.
come. Everyone come. Toronto's the best in the
Go
And I
Kart play.
said-
When
Is
is
that
as I
Mario
said,
Kart thing open yet?
It's gonna open in the spring. Maybe by April it'll be open.
And
Woohoo!
as I said, everyone's welcome for Hanukkah by me down in NC.
Oh,
I'll
goodness.
make those latke burgers, damn it.
Yeah,
Latka- Latka Burger. I swear to God, you need to open a Latka Burger food truck down there, Eric. It would sell so well. Nobody has done that. It's so. I mean, I know around like Amanda, I guess there's Latka Burgers, but I've never seen one domestically. That must be.
Now,
a
should I
Canadian
put
thing.
like a regular patty in there, or should I do my brisket in there?
Ooh, I think you could do
Ooh.
any kind of sandwich. You could use
anything.
use the latke
I make
as
a
the
damn
medium
brisket,
for a sandwich.
so
I think you
holidays.
could
Anything
do.
that the latkes, forget it. I'm in.
How about lamb? You do a nice lamb burger between two latkes. There we go. And then like you get that, like a Greek sour cream sauce that like the Greek yogurt sauce is kind of like
tzatziki sauce, yeah.
yeah. So it's almost like dipping it in sour cream, but it's not really. It's like All right, we're gonna turn this into a cooking podcast.
We'll have applesauce.
A latke
In
gyro.
there,
Wow.
Broadcasting from his food truck.
Oh, I may
A
have some
latke
new stuff in my
taco.
cookbooks.
Latke taco.
A
Yeah.
latke.
Ooh.
The
There you go.
The latkadilla.
Mm.
Latkerito.
You can just you can make
Yummy.
literally you could make anything out of a
The
latke.
La Lupa.
What? A pizza latke. You just make a big fucking hash brown and then put sauce and cheese. Oh, Amanda, I love that.
Oh my God.
That's great.
Yeah.
All right, see, it's a cooking show now, Sarah. Are you happy? It's a cooking show.
You've ruined us.
Look what you did.
There actually is a date when we all will be together, and that's WrestleMania 35
Yes.
Yes.
Oh, hey, that's right. It's in New York.
in the tri-state area, so we will all be
Also,
there.
the Pittsburgh pay-per-view in May.
Oh, there's a Pittsburgh pay-per-view.
Yep.
That's a lot of peas.
Isn't it in
Yep,
July?
a ton of peas.
Which one is it?
Battleground, I think, in July, I thought.
I was going to say Backlash. I would have.
Roadblock, end of the line.
Oh, God.
Great
Roadblock.
Balls
As
of
long as
Fire.
it's not Great Balls of Fire. Exactly.
Oh man, yeah. Sorry, Ryan. I would love to meet you,
This
but
is
if
a
it's Great Balls
dysfunctional
of
family. I
Fire.
swear to God.
If it was Great Balls of Fire, I'd just watch that one at home. I'm sorry, dude.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's Battleground.
Battlegrounds is fine. I mean,
The
there's
ground on which battle
Balls
is
of
done.
fire this time.
there's no
they're
bragging
fire.
rights match.
What do we got for the next question?
Okay, Dan Knightley, who now is becoming a frequent flyer to Twitter for us now.
I think he
too.
wants to win that Wrestle Rumble pick.
I think so
Well,
too.
he actually had
Two.
He had two questions tonight. One really good and one hilarious.
All right.
Like that.
What Mania match would we rather see? Cena v Taker or Cena v Demon Balor?
Ugh.
Cena versus
This
Balor.
was
Cena
the good
v.
question.
Cena
I don't wanna
Demon
see-
Balor.
I don't want to see Taker wrestle.
No, me either.
I agree.
With the way
Okay, so do you
it
want-
ended
do you-
last year, I don't see a point in Taker wrestling.
There isn't.
Yeah. How about this? We get John Cena involved. Well, it's either of those are fine, but I think maybe if you're going to get Balor involved, get Miz involved and do a 3-way for an Intercontinental for the Intercontinental title, maybe.
I'm
Ooh,
good
I
for
kind of
that.
like that.
Because Cena has good matches with Miz. Miz has
Yeah.
good matches with Balor. Balor has good matches with Cena. It's
I
like
didn't
one of
even
those
put
things.
Elias in there for a fatal
You know what?
four-way.
Fatal 4-way. Why not? Because Elias, if he's not doing anything, because if it's supposed to be him and Cena, it's supposed to be him and Cena anyway. So I think that's probably down the line, but who knows? It depends on what story. Right. It really depends on the Undertaker, I think. Right.
Yeah.
This is it.
Yeah.
It boils down
Yes.
to
What he wants.
what the opponent of John Cena rests on what the Undertaker does. So it's all kinds of weird WrestleMania math.
Okay, so do you want the better question or the funnier question, I should say?
What's the funnier question?
The sequel question is pineapple on your pizza, yes or no?
No or no.
Absolutely not for me.
No.
Yeah.
I've had
No.
pineapple. I'll have a pineapple. It's not very regular, but once every 100 pizzas or so, I'll do it.
See, if you do it with the pineapple and the ham, because then you're having
Yeah,
like
no,
a Hawaiian pizza.
It's good, and I like doing different things with pizza. Like I put a bolognese sauce on pizzas, so I mean I'm okay. Or like a barbecue chicken pizza with the grilled red onions on top. Yeah, I'm
but
okay with that.
That's not pineapple. Pineapple should not be on a pizza.
I mean,
Eric, do you remember that
it
place over
shouldn't
by
be,
the
but I'll
Eric?
take
Do you
it.
remember that place over by school that did the weird pizzas?
Yeah.
It did a roast beef and mashed potato pizza. It used to do a taco salad pizza. It did the most disgusting, craziest pizza. There was a chicken quesadilla pizza.
Oh man, that sounds good.
That sounds awesome.
Oh,
but no pineapple.
A roast beef and mashed potato with gravy pizza was like the big
Okay.
selling pizza. It was
Yeah,
across
I'm
the
on
street
that.
from Fuddruckers. Yeah.
Oh my god, I love Fuddruckers.
Wow.
And you know, and you know what that place is going to turn into soon.
What?
I know.
Leave it at that.
Oh, man, Fuddruckers.
Wow, she's really excited about
Some
fun.
letters around. That's all I'm saying.
I miss that place. We don't have that anymore. I miss that place.
We don't have it here
They
either.
have it in like Orlando. I know they have one in Orlando.
Oh,
That's
Yeah, we don't have.
Kat,
We don't have Fuddruckers,
there's a
and
chicken
we don't have
place.
Cracker Barrels either.
there's a chicken place in Long Island that Steve loves. Steve, what's that place?
I don't remember the name, but it's fucking awesome.
Pudgy's.
Pudgy's, nice.
Oh, Pudgy's.
Oh,
Pudgy's. is the
Pudgy's.
best chicken ever.
oh my god, I'm so
it's
hungry.
5 minutes from my house. It's 5 minutes from my
We
house.
did- we
Steve.
made Amanda hungry.
We usually do that by the end of the show.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Pudgy's is 5 minutes It's from my house with the little tater tots and everything. I just got that the other day for the kids.
Tater tots.
Oh, they have tater tots now? That's awesome.
Pudgy's is by
Yeah.
best fried chicken ever made ever.
They make the tater tots, but they're actually like stuffed mashed potato tater tots.
Wow.
So when you break the tater tot open, it's like actually like mashed potatoes on the inside. They're amazing.
The world we live in.
That's
truly
I could eat a
living
freaking
greatest
box
generation.
of those just myself.
It's
So
not
did we
fair. We
tackle-
don't have anything like this.
Did we tackle all the questions?
Your boy Medulla made a comment again this week. That's it, and that's what we got right now.
What's
What
his
are we
comment?
going to do?
Okay, so
Inshallah.
Medulla says, make NXT its own brand. I totally agree to keep it on the network and eliminate SmackDown. Talent would go to Raw and make that a powerful 3-hour. Make the rest of the roster go to NXT, not as a punishment. We'll see who steps up their game to make it to Raw. I think that would more consume the WWE network with having more viewers to want to watch. And how sweet would it be if New Japan merged with the Ring of Honor?
Wow,
Ooh.
those are two very different types of questions. Yeah.
Wow.
I love him. I'm just saying right now.
I feel like it would
he's a
have to be, if that was the case, it would have to be, and it would have to be produced the way NXT is.
Yeah.
Somewhat.
Yeah.
You know.
Well, in other words, it's got to remain in Triple H's hands.
Yeah.
Also, it would have to be 2 hours.
But I think that's a great idea. Eliminate SmackDown, bring everyone to Raw. 3 hours will fly by if everybody's there because you'll have so much going on. And then you have people go to NXT that you feel have to fight to be on Raw. I think that's absolutely fantastic. The only thing is that the new guys coming up in NXT cannot get lost in the shuffle. They still have to remain the main focus of the show.
So how about this? Because I was actually I was thinking about this in the shower earlier today. So very prescient of you, Medulla. You must be one of those Russian hackers that's everywhere that I've been hearing about, who's like intercepted what I'm doing in my shower when there's no cameras anywhere. I was thinking about how back in the day, because I was listening to What Happened When with Tony Schiavone and Conrad Thompson, which is hilarious, and you should check it out. So they were talking about how in the Monday Night Wars, you would watch because you didn't know who was going to jump ship and who was going to show up unexpectedly between Nitro and Raw. I was thinking about that. If somebody moved from Raw to SmackDown, who gives a shit? The only time anybody ever makes a real splash is if they come in from Japan or if they come in from NXT kind of unannounced and they just show up and everybody loses their mind. And I was thinking the only real way you could do that is if the brand that is opposite you, as in on Mondays and Tuesdays, you know what I mean? The brand that's opposite you has to not be a WWE brand. So they're too similar because the shows are the same company. When you look at it, you go, well, what's the difference between Raw and SmackDown? They both have a McMahon, you know what I mean? They both have a retired wrestler, general manager. They've got the Riot Squad and they've got the Absolution, and they're basically the fucking copy and paste job. You know what I mean? It's like you see so much similarity between the shows, and you just know because there's a McMahon on both shows that they're both owned and operated by the McMahons, and all the decisions are filtering through them. It doesn't feel any differently produced. The only way that the shows feel differently produced is if they are by a different company like a WCW or an ECW, or if they're done by NXT, because NXT is it's definitely got a different feel to it. It's actually presented more like WCW. Triple H may not have had the best time in WCW, but he was a big fan of the NWA. He was a big fan of Georgia Championship and all that stuff growing. You know, he actually watched the NWA stuff, which is admirable.
Speaking of NWA, I wouldn't mind seeing NWA do something with Ring of Honor.
Yeah, I feel like that's coming. Billy Corgan's making real inroads. Actually, funny enough, Nick Aldis has said he's going to defend the championship 20 times in 60 days. He decided his first opponent had to be someone who has pinned a world champion or has won a world championship. So he picked James Ellsworth.
Oh, geez.
That's hilarious.
Yeah, so he's, Nick Aldis is really trying to be a heel here. So the storyline going forward. Oh, yeah. And so the storyline here is that basically Nick is going to go around picking probably easy opponents for himself because Billy Corgan's already talked about the quality of the opponent that he's picking for himself, and that at the end of the day, the decision making is in Billy Corgan's hands as the owner of the NWA. So we're leading to Aldis having to defend it against Tommy Dreamer at the end of this at House of Hardcore. And I'm pretty sure that he's going to try and weasel his way out of that. And Tommy Dreamer or Billy Corgan's going to say, no, listen, man, not only do I own the Smashing Pumpkins, I own you. I own the NWA. So he's I like Billy. He's a very soft-spoken guy, but he's got a direction that he wants to go. I would love to interview Billy. I would love to just talk to him, meet him for like 5 minutes, and I don't even need to say anything. Just
listen.
Just stare at his bald head for a little while.
Hey, Vince. Dan on Twitter, Dan Knightley, he's actually listening, and he just sent us a message. NXT is stacked now. I can see an invasion angle in the not so distant future with Triple H as the general.
Shock the system.
You know what? That would be
those guys come on.
That's a true. That is something that could be really exciting. It would almost give you that feel of when Nexus first came up, because their first night.
Yeah,
it's a shame Daniel O'Brien
They
choked
can
down.
do something similar with the new guys, and then having Triple H be the guy that leads them to the war. Kind of like he did with DX and WCW, and this could be something absolutely huge.
That would be pretty
you guys aren't going to believe this.
What's up?
Sarah.
In the email. Yep, in the email. Sarah from Nebraska.
Oh, wow. I'm sorry we said so many mean things about you. Not really, but go
Wait.
ahead.
No. We were absolutely on point with everything we freaking said.
Oh no.
Your reactions were exactly what I would have expected. So thank you for proving my point.
Oh.
So does that mean she wants to come on the show?
Wait. I'm sorry. Maybe I'm a little slow. So the response that she proved her point, I don't understand.
I don't understand what our reactions were that proved her point.
Oh my
God!
I think
we are horrible parents. Is that what it boils down to?
No, I think what she's saying is that we reacted poorly in terms of like calling her unfuckable and talking shit about everybody from Nebraska and
well, for the record, I never once.
I know you didn't do that at all. That was all me. Those guys gave. Here's the difference.
But we said our reactions, your reactions were exactly what I would have expected. Thank you for proving my point. Well, guess what?
And you wasted a whole nother hour listening to our shit.
You know what? Exactly. Thanks for listening in.
So she
entire time.
So she proved our point.
Yeah,
she proved our point. She has nothing better to do with her time. What is
all according to plan?
I don't understand, Sarah. Sarah, if I don't like Jeopardy, I don't watch Jeopardy. I don't understand you. If I don't like the movie that's coming out, I don't go watch the movie. I don't sit and watch the movie and then complain about it afterwards.
Listen, I want Sarah.
Kim Jong-un is not forcing you to watch this. This is not the only channel. It's the internet. You can find something else. I just don't understand the thought process.
I want Sarah to come on the show next week.
The email address is coming. The email is being thought out right now as we speak. So if you want me to send you the email address, I'll send it to you, Steve, if you want to do it. That's perfectly fine.
Next week, we're going to have a very special guest. Her name is Sarah, and she's from the great state of Nebraska. They have a long history of corn-related products.
I'm waiting to see if she responds. I'm waiting to see if she's listening enough to respond to this.
I want to see if this was like some kind of big social experiment.
Yeah, I want to see, like,
where she actually is a wrestling fan and she loves... And her kids watch wrestling.
I hope it's really Peter Rosenberg. That's what I hope. I hope this is fucking Peter Rosenberg, who's doing some kind of sting operation for his dumb podcast show or whatever it is.
No, wait, let's see. Good evening, Sarah.
Good evening.
We really do appreciate your feedback and would welcome the opportunity to have you come on next week.
It's going to be huge.
Please let us know.
Sarah, we're going to build a wall.
Beautiful wall.
It's going to be tremendous.
The wall is
Tremendous.
it's gonna block satellite signal, so you can't get raw. We're gonna build the wall around it. You can eat your corn. You don't have to fucking watch. You don't. Nobody's forcing you to watch this shit, Sarah. God damn it. That's all that's the only thing I want to get across. Nobody's forcing you to watch this anything. They
But
don't.
it's making for entertaining radio, though, ain't it?
Really
Oh my God, this is
I
great.
appreciate
And the fact that she did it like 5 minutes before. You know what? This is like some 90-year-old guy in his basement. Okay.
Master hating, as Eric so coined the phrase.
Well, I think this is a great note to wrap on as SmackDown Live is starting, and that was just we can't top that. Just like nobody can top Shinsuke.
That's right.
I'm like shocked.
I think it's great.
Next week, I hope that we can announce that we've got Sarah from Nebraska coming on the show. And I hope that Sarah from Nebraska is actually a woman named Sarah from the state of Nebraska. And again, is not like Peter Rosenberg or just some weirdo in his basement trying to get a rise out of a bunch of podcasters. I mean, good show if that's you, but
if it's Sam Roberts, I'm never doing this podcast again.
If it's Sam Roberts, oh my God, I'm driving to New York and I am grabbing the last few curly hairs out of that balding head of his. It's going to happen.
Go to the next WWE pay-per-view during the pre-show. Just end up.
You're watching the WWE pre-show main event. Fucking A.
You make him sound like Steve Urkel.
I don't know how else to make him sound. That floppy-footed bastard. I don't know. We should probably wrap up because between Sarah and Sam Roberts, if Sarah is Sam Roberts, you're going to see a suicide on YouTube live next week. I won't be able to handle it. But you should tune in next week because I feel like it's going to be fun if we do in fact get our guest, and if we don't, then I'm gonna create a whole new Gmail address, Sarah from Nebraska, and then you're just going to give that email address the link, and then I'll wear a wig and do the whole interview as Sarah from Nebraska.
Please.
We've had Sister Abigail. Bray Wyatt did it. Why can't you?
Right?
Just put a sheet over yourself.
We've
been shower curtain.
We've been graced by the Midnight Rider, so why
yes,
not?
I will be Sarah's. I will be what? Sister Sarabigail.
I know it. The
no.
Midnight Rider will interview Sarah.
The Midnight Rider has to talk to Sarah at one point.
Yes.
That would be brilliant.
Oh my God.
We have to call. I will call the Midnight Rider because he doesn't really know how to text because he's an older
I'm
gentleman.
tempted to leave her my work number to call me in the office.
They're like, we have somebody who works in our satellite office in Nebraska making a complaint about you. Shit. Human resources gets involved. Oh man. All right, so it is 8:03. We should pack up for now. We'll have lots more to talk about next week, especially if Sarah comes on. Come on, Sarah.
Come on, Sarah.
We're begging you, please.
Make my day. Is that what you're saying? I like that.
Yeah.
That would be wonderful. It would be an enriching, enlightening experience because I truly do want to know why you would crusade against something that when you could simply just change the channel and not watch it. That's just what I want to know because there are lots of things.
To the whole goddamn show.
Yeah, apparently you listened to an hour of us talking about how unfuckable you are and how you pick corn husks out of your ass. I mean, geez, we just said terrible. I did. I want to put that out there. Kat and Steve
put it very eloquently.
Kat and Steve gave very good answers because they're parents and they needed to defend themselves from a question that was designed to talk shit about them. I don't have any kids, so I don't give a fuck. I'll just say what I'm feeling. And they gave very good answers. I'm allowed to crack the jokes
and you
because
know
I got to
our
keep
kids.
this show moving. Right, and your kids are well adjusted and they're doing well for themselves. And it's like, I don't know. It doesn't seem like you keep them with a dog collar on and they're living in the backyard or under the stairs or something. Jesus Christ.
Chained to the bed.
I let them out every now and then.
Yeah. Right, yeah, you open the door, crack a window. No, but you guys are good parents. So, I mean, yes, I'm going to come to the defense of my friends the way I know how, and I'm just going to sit here and cut promos on people because, yeah, I'm a wrestling fan, and that's all you do. You sit around, you hate on people, and you don't like things. And guess what? I don't watch EWTN. I don't watch Sister Angelica, but if you like that shit, you can go watch it. You can pray with her all you want. They say the rosary 24/7 on that channel. I don't give a shit. That's not the channel I watch. If you don't want to watch Raw, it's USA Network. Turn it off between 8 and 11. It's really, really simple. But if you insist on watching, then please continue following the War Report on social media at Tag Me a Date.
Absolutely.
Go to the YouTube channel, go to youtube.com, type in Tag Me a Date with no spaces, squish it all together, Tag Me a Date, all one word. Subscribe, hit the bell because you want to know everything we're doing, apparently. Hit the bell because then you get a notification on your phone. Oh, there's one of the kids you neglect. Then
They came home to watch.
Right?
They actually came home to watch SmackDown.
Oh, look at that. Oh, wow. You are actively abusing your children live on the internet. We've got proof. God.
Yep, they came home from school to watch SmackDown.
Well, you guys have fun. So you should. That's see, they're already in high school. They're not even 10, and they're in high school.
Got a couple of dookie houses over there.
Yes, we do. So please continue to watch us 7 p.m. on the Eastern time on YouTube. But really, if you're subscribing, hit the bell because then it sends a notification to your phone that we've gone live. And then you can sit there and hate watch us because you don't like us, apparently. You want to send us nasty emails. Well, not even nasty emails, just rude emails in tone and just in general your being. So if you're not that person, feel free to watch us like a regular human being does and enjoy yourself. 7 p.m. on Eastern time on Tuesday evenings. Send your questions to askthewarreport@gmail.com or go to social media at Tag Me Date and use the hashtag #AskTheWarReport. Your questions will be entered in the Wrestle Rumble pay-per-view pick'em, where along with Sarah, you will be entered in the contest to see how well you do picking pay-per-view results for the Elimination Chamber. The Elimination Chamber, also known as the toilet, where we are sending most of Sarah's next questions. Anyway, that is the end of our show for this evening. We'll be back next Tuesday, 7 p.m. Eastern time. Get your questions in. Interact with us on social media to a point. I'm a private person. I don't need you all up in my business. And also go to tagmeadate.com and register. If you're lonely and single like Sarah, you should go to tagmeadate.com to find yourself a tag team partner. Yes, you can find your tag team match, somebody that'll put you over clean, brother, 1, 2, 3, right in the middle of the ring, all for free at tagmeadate.com. Your 75,000 superstars and divas on our roster, lots of free agents, if you know what I mean. So if you want a tag team match, 3-way, you want yourself a 4 corners match, or you want the Royal Rumble for all the gold, baby,
that's what we do.
You can go to tagmeadate.com. Hey, no, you know what? You can do whatever you want on tagmeadate.com because you can send a message. It's all free. You don't have to pay like at certain other sites. They charge you for this. You can send a message. You can send emojis. You can send a promo video. You can do all this great stuff on tagmeadate.com, and it's free. So we'll see you next week right here on YouTube, 7 p.m. Eastern time on a Tuesday evening. And we hope Sarah's going to be there. We'll see you next week.
Yes.